Do you think you're expressive? Show of hands, raise your hand. Do you think of yourself as expressive? Okay, I see a few hands. That's great. Anybody that didn't have their hand up, though, is lying. We are all expressive in one way or another. But let me return to my original question. How do you express yourself? The way we express ourselves is integral to who we are. And it comes not only from the people around us as influencing our expression, from our life experiences, but through many other ways. Our expression is the result of influence. Part of that influence, as I've mentioned, are people like family and friends, our school, our work, the places that we go, but also what we believe. Our personal values and beliefs are impacted and shown through expression. How we believe things comes in when we think about religion. Now you may be thinking, religion, that's not the only thing that we believe in. And you're right. Religion is not just one set of beliefs. There's many things that we have beliefs about. Morals, politics, all kinds of things that we put our faith and belief into. But religion is by far one of the most important things that we believe in. Because, as I'll get into, it defines our reality. Now, to go into this conversation, I want to challenge and encourage you to see how our beliefs, our faith, and our religion influences and informs our expression by connecting it to popular culture. Now, I give you a lot of terms, a lot of things to think over. So let's get some definitions out of the way first. Religion, as defined for this talk, is a cause, principle, or system of beliefs held to with adore and faith. Faith being a strong conviction and belief. Religion is also usually connected to the sacred, to things that are considered the supernatural, things that we don't really see with our eyes, but we can understand through learning, through feeling, through other means. Our connection and our beliefs to what is sacred informs everything that we do, especially when I define our next term, popular culture. Popular culture, for the sake of this conversation, is going to be what's popular in our culture. Kind of self-explanatory, but I feel like you got to get all your definitions defined in one way or another. And specifically, popular culture is focusing on the movies, TV shows, and music, and other forms of media that we find here in our Western culture. Now, you may be thinking, that is a interesting way to show how our beliefs inform our expression, but it's integral to not only my personal life, but to our understanding of the world. The media that we consume influences us in return. The media we consume takes up a big portion of our lives today. So we got to understand what influences it and how that influences us as well. So to start off, let's go to the movies. Let's begin going a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, as we begin by discussing the movie series Star Wars. Star Wars is a major film franchise spawning into a bunch of other forms of media, but I want to focus in on the first film. Star Wars, the original one, or it's called Episode 4, but we're just going to call it the original. Star Wars is about a young man named Luke Skywalker who has been put on this big journey to help the rebellion against the evil empire. Ooh, spooky. But with that, it's not just a film about a rebellion or fighting or space battles. There's also this element that his mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, talks about. It's called the Force. The way it's described, it's this supernatural binding piece, connecting the whole universe together. And the Force was inspired by George Lucas's desire for people to connect with the spiritual, to engage with the mystery of God. In a Time magazine interview, when he was being interviewed for the first of his prequel movies, he talked about how the Force was created with that in mind. This idea of religion being focused on it. Not necessarily organized, particular religion, but who God is. Inviting that question of, is there a God? So, we can see how in a movie, his belief, his desire to bring in that question informed the expression of Star Wars and the Force in general, inviting us to ponder the supernatural. So we went to the movies, and now let's watch some TV. Because we watch quite a bit of TV, right? I know sometimes I used to in the past, not as much anymore, but we watch quite a bit of TV. There's one show in particular, though, that many people do watch. It's a show called The Office. And some of you may have heard of it, some of you may not. But a general layout, The Office is a show about a paper supply company being run, and it's just going through the everyday runnings of this paper supply company, paper selling company. And you may be thinking, yeah, if you've watched the show, you may be wondering, how does this connect with religion? Where do you see it? Well, though we don't know the original showrunner Greg Daniels' religious beliefs entirely, for the U.S. running, the show The Office was adapted from a show produced and released in the U.K. by Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, both known atheists. And atheism puts away the idea that there is a God and doesn't believe in a God per se. The supernatural is not the focus. So I ruined my argument. Right then, right there, right? Because they don't have a religion, or they don't believe in a God. How can that connect with with religion, with the supernatural? Well, it does. If we go back to our definition of religion being a cause, a principle, or a system of beliefs held to with the door and faith, and it involves the sacred, then we can understand that this lack of direct belief in God is still a belief about God, about the supernatural, about religion in general. And we see how it informs the expression. Religion is treated as an everyday thing in the office. It's not treated with sacredness or treated as separate. It's part of life, part of the way we go and part of the way we roll. It doesn't invite the question of the mystery like George Lucas did. Rather, it's what you do. And right there we see how it informs their expression. Okay, so I made my arguments about the movies and about TV shows. But maybe you don't watch a movie, maybe you don't watch a TV show, maybe you've had a lot of screen time for one day. Maybe you just want to listen to some music. Now, there are many, many musical compositions that have been influenced by religion, but the one I wanted to focus on today was one that explicitly uses a word that praises a God. rather the God of the Bible. A song called Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Now, Leonard Cohen was raised in a Jewish home, and it was known that he struggled with his belief in God, even joining a Zen monastery at one moment. But when he created the song Hallelujah, he created it with the understanding that he wanted to bring hallelujah, a word meaning praise to God, into the secular world, or the ordinary world, or the natural world, or what is trying to separate itself from the sacred. He wanted to bring it into those moments, connecting them together. So, his personal struggle and his understanding, his desire for that connection influenced a song rich with biblical imagery and also rich with questioning, rich with this connection with the holy and the broken. All these different forms of media influence our beliefs, influence their beliefs when creating them, and their beliefs influence us in return. When it comes to religion, it can be a taboo subject. It's not always something that we are most comfortable talking about. But I want to challenge you that by looking through our media, we see that it may not be explicit, but it's influencing every facet of our lives, whether we have a belief in the religious or not. So my question for you is, what do you believe, and how do you express it? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benjamin, for enlightening us about the faith.